In 1989, the Johnson family returned home from dinner to find their babysitter exactly where they left her, sitting on the couch, staring at the wall. But when Mrs. Johnson touched her shoulder, the babysitter's body was ice cold. She had been dead for over 3 hours. So, who had been watching their children upstairs? In the Johnsons' living room, the blue couch sits in silence. Jennifer is exactly where they left her, on that couch, facing the wall, the TV's flicker washing the room. When Mrs. Johnson touches her shoulder, Jennifer's body is ice cold. She'd been gone for hours. So who was watching the children upstairs? This is the true story of what happened on Maple Street, a case that still haunts detectives to this day. And I warn you, the truth is far more disturbing than you can imagine. It was a cold October evening when Greg and Susan Johnson decided to celebrate their 15th wedding anniversary. They hired 19-year-old Jennifer Mitchell, a local college student known for her reliability. Jennifer had babysat for the Johnsons dozens of times before. Their 2 children, 8-year-old Emma and 5-year-old Michael, loved her. At 6:47 p.m., the Johnsons left their home. Jennifer waved from the doorway, her blonde hair tied back in a ponytail, wearing her usual jeans and college sweatshirt. Everything seemed normal, perfect even. But at 7:23 p.m., something happened in that house. Something that would never be fully explained. The children were upstairs playing video games in Michael's room. Jennifer told them she'd be downstairs watching TV if they needed anything. The house was quiet except for the sound of the television and the children's laughter echoing from above. At approximately 7:25 p.m., a neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, was walking her dog past the Johnson house. She later told police she saw a figure standing in the upstairs window, watching her. At first, she thought it was Jennifer checking on the kids. But something about the silhouette made her uncomfortable. The way it stood, perfectly still, not moving, even when her dog barked. She hurried past. Cliffhanger Bridge. At 9:15 p.m. the Johnsons returned home, laughing about their evening. Greg fumbled with his keys while Susan talked about dessert. They opened the door expecting to see Jennifer reading or watching TV. She was there, sitting on the couch, but she wasn't moving. The TV was on, playing static, no show, no channel, just gray and white static filling the screen, casting flickering shadows across Jennifer's face.
"Jennifer?" Susan called out. No response. Susan approached slowly. "Jennifer, honey, we're home." When Susan touched her shoulder, Jennifer's body tipped sideways, stiff and cold. Susan screamed. Greg rushed over and immediately checked for a pulse. Nothing. Her skin was frigid, her lips blue.
But here's what made Greg's blood run cold. Jennifer's eyes were wide open, staring at the ceiling, and in her hand, clutched so tightly they had to pry it away at the morgue, was a note, crumpled, written in shaky handwriting that didn't match Jennifer's neat penmanship. It read, "I'm still here." Greg called 911 while Susan ran upstairs to check on the children. Her heart pounded as she threw open Michael's bedroom door, expecting the worst. But Emma and Michael were fine, completely fine. They were sitting on the floor playing quietly with toys.
"Mommy!" Michael smiled. "You're back! Are you both okay?" Susan's voice cracked with panic.
"Yes," Emma said, confused by her mother's terror. "Jennifer's friend was really nice. She read us stories and gave us cookies." Susan froze. "Jennifer's friend? What friend?" "The lady who came upstairs," Emma said innocently. "After Jennifer fell asleep on the couch. She said she was Jennifer's friend and that she'd watch us until you got home."
Police arrived within minutes. Detective Sarah Chen was the lead investigator. When she heard Emma's account, she immediately ordered a search of the entire house. Every room, every closet, every possible hiding place. They found nothing. No signs of forced entry. No fingerprints except those belonging to the family and Jennifer. The back door was locked from the inside. All windows were secure. The autopsy revealed something even more chilling. Jennifer Mitchell had died from cardiac arrest at approximately 7:20 p.m. The medical examiner estimated she'd been dead for at least 2 hours before the Johnsons found her. There were no signs of struggle, no drugs in her system, no physical trauma. A healthy 19-year-old's heart had simply stopped. But if Jennifer died at 7:20 p.m., who was upstairs with the children from 7:30 until 9:15? Detective Chen interviewed the children separately. Both told identical stories. A woman had come upstairs around 7:30. She had long dark hair and wore a white dress. She was very pretty, but her eyes were sad, according to Emma. The woman told them Jennifer was tired and asked them to play quietly. She read them 3 stories, gave them chocolate chip cookies from the kitchen, and told them to be good children. When Detective Chen asked what the woman's name was, both children said the same thing. She said her name was Sarah. Like you, Detective. Detective Chen felt a chill run down her spine. The reveal. The investigation took a dark turn when Detective Chen discovered something in the house's history. In 1952, a woman named Sarah Miller had lived in that exact house. She was a 28-year-old mother of 2 young children. One night while her husband was away, she put her children to bed and went downstairs. The next morning, neighbors found her sitting on the couch, dead, cardiac arrest, no explanation. Her children were found upstairs, sleeping peacefully. They told authorities that after their mother fell asleep, a nice lady had come to tuck them in and sing them lullabies. The parallels were impossible to ignore. Detective Chen brought in a forensic psychologist who interviewed Emma and Michael again. Under gentle questioning, more details emerged. The woman in white had told them she was waiting for someone. When Emma asked who, the woman said, "Someone who needs me." The cookies the children described, chocolate chip. Police found a half-eaten batch in the kitchen, but Susan Johnson swore she hadn't baked any cookies, and Jennifer was allergic to chocolate. She would never have made them. Building to climax. The most disturbing piece of evidence came from the home's security camera, something the Johnsons had recently installed. Detective Chen reviewed the footage. At 7:22 p.m., Jennifer is visible on the couch, watching TV. Then, suddenly, she gasps, clutches her chest, and goes still. The timestamp matches her estimated time of death. But at 7:31 p.m., the camera captures something impossible. The living room is empty, but you can hear footsteps on the stairs. Slow, deliberate footsteps, going up. Then, faintly, a woman's voice humming a lullaby. The same lullaby Sarah Miller used to sing to her children in 1952. The final twist. The case was officially closed as an unexplained cardiac event, but Detective Chen never forgot those children's faces when they described the woman in white, the way they smiled when they talked about her kindness. To this day, the Johnson family no longer lives in that house. They moved out within a month, but before they left, Emma asked her mother a question that still haunts her. "Mommy, why was the nice lady so sad? She kept looking at the door like she was waiting for someone to come home." The house has been sold twice since then. Both families reported the same thing. On quiet nights, they can hear footsteps on the stairs, the sound of a woman humming, and sometimes, just sometimes, they find fresh cookies on the kitchen counter. Jennifer Mitchell's death remains unexplained. The woman in white was never identified, and no one knows if Sarah Miller is still waiting, or if she's found whoever she was looking for. The Johnsons' children are adults now. They've never spoken publicly about that night, but Emma keeps one thing from that evening: a small teddy bear she says the woman in white gave her before she left. When investigators asked where it came from, they traced it back to a toy store that closed in 1951.